Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brian Haskell, and if you don't already know, I'm the first customer worldwide for the new Stark Varg electric motocross bike. Now, Stark Future invited me over to Barcelona to spend the entire week with their team. One day touring the manufacturing facility and 2 straight days riding the new Stark Varg. This was an incredible experience, and from one customer to another, I just want to share this rad experience with you guys, and hopefully I was able to do that in this video. If I didn't cover any questions you may have had, feel free to drop a comment below, and either I'll answer them in the comment section or maybe I'll make a follow-up video answering those questions. So here we go, guys. Come along for the ride. This was such a rad experience, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. One word. You're catching me with one word. I want to use so many words to describe this experience. Unbelievable. I am an electric dirt bike owner right now, and frankly, I'm really satisfied with the performance of that bike, and I'm sure you guys have seen, some of the fun I've been having on that, frankly. And I wasn't really sure how things could get better until today. All right, we just landed in Dublin, Ireland, and of course, the very first thing my wife does is whip open her phone and check her Pulp MX Fantasy.
Yep.
So how many points did you get?
260.
260 points? Okay. Well, you did a lot better than I did. It was a short 10-hour flight, didn't sleep much, so now we have about 4 hours to kill. I think we're gonna go find some maybe Jameson.
Guinness.
Oh, Guinness, okay, we can do that. Guinness, yep.
Guinness.
And we'll hop on another flight to Barcelona.
The lights go out and now I feel numb. And now I fear the worst is yet to come.
Okay, we finally made it to Barcelona. We had a little bit of a rough time. We had about a 2-hour delay. I guess there's some unrest in France and we weren't able to fly over top of France. So we had to wait to leave, and we also had to take an alternate route. About 12:30, and check it out. They have the MXGP race on the TV above baggage claim. So I think we're in the right spot. Super pumped to be here. It's going to be a fun week, and hope you guys enjoy.
Okay.
Our first day in Barcelona began at our hotel, where we met up with Morgan Carlson, who is Stark Future's sports and athlete manager, and he's the guy who really coordinated this entire trip for us. And I just want to start off by saying the hospitality provided by Stark Future for this trip was absolutely incredible. So we headed on over to the manufacturing facility, and seeing this building for the first time was pretty overwhelming, honestly. The sheer size of this building, it's absolutely massive. And raw emotion here, just very excited to be here, and immediately was greeted by Benjamin Cobb and Anton Wass. Now, Anton was nice enough to provide me with a tour of the manufacturing facility, which included seeing the assembly lines where each and every one of our bikes will be produced. I was able to get my hands on individual components that make up a complete Stark Varg, and also see each and every step of the assembly line process and the quality control measures they have in place to ensure that we receive a very nice bike. I was even able to witness the production of a brand new battery pack, and this was truly exciting. Now, I hope you guys can understand that I really can't talk about many of the details of the things that I saw simply because they're trade secrets. But what I will talk about are things that are already public knowledge. For example, this pack contains 400 cells that are equally distantly connected to the exterior case, which is essentially the heat sink or the cooling material for the cells. And what this means is this pack will have a much better thermal efficiency than the pack on my current electric dirt bike, the Alta Redshift MXR. There are other design features that I really wish I could talk about, but just know that I'm truly excited by the things that I saw and my understanding of these design elements, and this pack is freaking awesome, guys. Now, maybe this is a good time to address the most common question I've gotten, and frankly, a question I had myself, and that is, when are we going to be receiving our bikes? Well, Stark recently announced that they're undergoing what's called endurance testing, and so they have what I'll call a fleet of pre-production bikes where they have tons of sensors and are logging tons of data points and are just retrieving tons of data to ensure that once we do get our bikes, we have a really robust package that doesn't have really any issues. On the same day I had visited the manufacturing facility, Stark had resolved their final bug they had found during endurance testing. So the 6 hours of ride time I put on the bikes over the following 2 days contributed to testing and confirming the bug fix. As a software developer myself, I can understand how bugs like this can come up last minute. So while I was expecting to arrive at the manufacturing facility and see my own Stark Varg, I think it's pretty rad that Stark decided to include me, their first customer worldwide, in an effort to wrap up their endurance testing. That said, the Stark Future team has informed me that I will be receiving my bike in my garage here in Southern California before the end of May. So stick around, guys. I promise you, this bike is definitely worth the wait.
Easy for everyone to understand how to use the bike. And here we go. Here's the finished Varg.
All right, let's go riding. Wow.
Is it what you expected?
What a nice looking bike. Wow. And yeah, wow, how slim too.
You can sit on the bike if you like.
First time sitting on the bar. All right, let's do it. Oh man, I can't wait to ride this. Cockpit feels very nice. I've been dreaming about doing this right here, just sitting on the bike. And I'm doing it in the same location where all the promo videos were shot. I can't believe I'm sitting here right now doing this.
Here you are. Feels good to have you here.
This is incredible. Swinging my leg over the Varg for the first time, I could immediately tell that the ergonomics and rider triangle of this bike were very similar to other modern dirt bikes out there today. The seat was flat, the handlebars were in the right spot, and the foot pegs felt really nice underneath my feet. And then standing on the bike, I'm a 6'1" guy, just for reference. The grip points of the bike, typically inside of your boot area and the inside of your knee, felt really nice to have these flat panels on the side of the bike to grip the bike.
That's the point.
Do I look like a little kid in the candy store? Because that's what I feel like. I know a lot of media guys were saying how narrow this bike is, and I would agree that this bike is definitely narrower than other bikes out there today. However, I wouldn't say it's too narrow by any means. I was very happy to be standing here on the pegs, just in a comfortable position and feeling very comfortable, and nothing felt weird to me.
So here you have the start phone. So if you click that button there.
This one?
Yeah. So what you see here is the...
I don't think anybody's seen that before. We've seen the front, but not the back.
Yeah, it could be actually. Details matter.
So when you're out on the trail or the track, you want to take a video of your other Stark Varg buddies?
Yeah. Yeah, or change your power modes or whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's the neat part too.
And then here you have the docking station. So whenever you click it back, it will automatically connect and work solely as a display.
And it just pops back in here?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
What do you think about the button?
Yeah, touch the button a bit. Oh, this button. It's a nice piece. Tactile feedback. This will be nice to have out on the track, flipping through power modes.
Also, one thing that no one has actually seen yet is when you actually turn it on, you'll have the little light here that'll be flashing. Then you'll click it, kind of like clicking it into gear. It's like a virtual clutch, and then it will be engaged, and you'll be able to drive off.
So like a on switch, essentially.
Yes, when you start the bike, it's in sleep mode, and then you know, because that can be dangerous with there's no noise and you're used to that. So just to make sure that no one just accidentally hits the throttle where you unleash 80 horsepower.
Sounds like you've had that happen to you guys a few times.
Actually, I don't think it happened, did it? I don't think it happened yet, but you know, it was a couple times when it was sketchy. But yeah, no, we fortunately implemented it before something happened.
So this light on this switch here is the indicator whether it's on or off.
Yeah.
On or off.
Yeah.
Live, let's say.
Yeah, or if you're in sleep mode or not. If it's in sleep mode, it's blinking.
Is it multicolors like red and green?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be nice.
And that's also, you know, what we talked about before for the federations. It's also an indicator for
Which power mode it's in? Yeah.
Which in production will be red.
So this whole piece will be
No,
red?
no, just
No,
the.
no, no, just the
Oh, just the button. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know why it's not replaced on this bike, but that's the old one. This is the beauty queen we have here. So it's.
Yeah, I like how slim the bike is, for sure.
Yeah.
Some of the gas bikes out there are just boats in the front. You feel like you're riding around like a goon. Like
Yeah,
this.
for sure. I had that experience Saturday. Tried both.
Oh man, this is a nice cockpit. I see this one has the kickstand.
Yep.
So is this an option every owner could add to their bike?
Yeah, we decided to do it like that. So the side frame here has the 2 mounting points there. So you buy a kit, which includes this bracket here as well as the stand, and then you can attach it even afterwards if you like. It's quite interesting, you know, just how much time we put into making the side stand. With the, you know, because normally it can be quite an ugly piece, and it perhaps is, but you know, you can still make it so much better.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
it's a forged piece in 7000 series aluminium, so we can make it extremely light. It's the lightest side stand in the market. So
And then the radiator is out the back here.
yeah, exactly.
And so that's to cool the inverter and a little bit of the motor too?
Yeah, both.
Both?
Yeah,
So it's the same coolant that's flowing through.
exactly. Here you see the package together. What do you think about the rear of the bike?
Well, I think people better get used to seeing that because this bike's just going to blow everything out of the water.
Exactly.
So everybody out there, make sure you get a good picture of the back of the bike to get used to it because that's what you'll be seeing. Yeah, I like the detail of the Varg on the back. That's nice. And it's symmetrical. I like that too.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
nice.
a huge benefit there.
You
No
don't have a
silencer.
bulge out on one side.
Yeah.
There's no exhaust or anything. And I'm noticing black spokes as well.
Yep.
I like the polished hub. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a forged and fully machined hub.
The production bike, they'll come polished like that
Yep.
as well.
So it's special stainless steel, which is quite nice because otherwise, you know, you have to have some kind of a coating. In the coating, you're gonna wear it off quickly when you
Sure.
go into your ruts and stuff. So by having a nice stainless steel alloy, of course, the polish, you know, can get a bit scratched, but essentially it's gonna stay the same, only with a few scratches, rather than ripping off some kind of coating, which makes it look completely different and start rusting eventually.
And I'm noticing on the battery case here, these fins are actually pretty big.
Yep.
Which means, you know, better cooling.
Exactly.
That's super important.
Yep.
And then charge port.
Yep.
All right, we have arrived at the test facility, one of the test facilities in Barcelona. Oh yeah. Hell yes, look at the bull taco. This is gonna be so rad. Conditions looking prime. Look at Seb.
This looks like a fun day in the office for you guys.
Yeah,
Definitely not bad. Little pump track.
Anton in his outfit,
Look at this.
dinosaur.
Anton's cute puppy.
He's so cute. He's definitely very
You.
puppy-like still.
How you doing?
What's up, Seb? Looking good.
Ready to go?
Heck yeah. Let me get suited up.
We got good weather going on.
Check it out, guys. What a facility this is. Just good vibes all around. I'm loving it. Let's go shred some electric bikes. This is a dream. Okay, ciao. The first time cracking the throttle on the 80 horsepower Stark Varg was truly unforgettable. Okay, ciao. Oh, baby. Very snappy. Hello.
Enjoy.
Oh my gosh, it has a lot of power. So this is a clip from my literal first ride on the Stark Varg on a brand new track, and I was not pushing it hard whatsoever. I was taking it super easy because I didn't know how the bike was going to feel, and I didn't really even know the lines on the track yet. But I just wanted to show you guys a clip from my very first experience on the bike, and later on in this video I'll include some clips where I'm riding much better. As I'm traveling around the track here in my first couple of laps at somewhat of a snail's pace, I think this is a good time to talk about some of my immediate first impressions of the Varg. First, I was very happy to quickly feel comfortable on the bike despite the initially sloppy track conditions. The bike truly felt like a high-performance motocross bike and didn't feel weird to me in any way, and I think this is a testament to the hard work the Stark Future team has put into the design and testing of this bike. As soon as I hopped on the bike and got out on the track, I could immediately tell the bike had a massive amount of power available at my right wrist, noticeably more than I'm used to on my Alta Redshift MXR, and also different in the way that it was delivered. On the Varg, just 30% of throttle input gave you a pretty significant amount of power out the back tire, and it felt much more like an S-curve than a straight linear curve like I'm used to on my Alta. Some people describe the Alta as feeling mushy because it requires a big twist of throttle to send all of those electrons through the motor. The Varg having much more power, the bike instantly responds to your right wrist and doesn't require a large twist of throttle to wake up the rear tire and get the bike moving. and this made me feel truly connected from my right wrist to the rear tire without a sluggish, vibrating internal combustion engine in between. That said, even though I had a massive amount of power on tap, the Varg has an ultra fine resolution and throttle input, so you can easily modulate all that power way better than any gas bike. Your control of all that power is truly in your right wrist. The next thing I immediately noticed is that in the stock mapping configuration, the Varg had significantly less engine braking than my Alta. Right away, the bike felt more two-stroke-like, where it carried speed into the corners more freely and jumped straight without the nose pitching down. The engine braking on the Varg seems to be speed sensitive, where there is significantly less engine braking at lower speeds versus higher speeds. This, along with essentially no engine inertia effect, made the bike feel very light out on the track. I noticed my corner entry speed and mid-corner speed was much more consistent and faster since I wasn't having to apply throttle input to keep the bike moving. Of course, all kinds of engine characteristics are completely customizable by you, the rider, to suit your needs through the Varg's tuning app on the phone. My initial impression was that I wanted more engine braking, and later in this video I'll show you what actually happened when I tried all different kinds of mapping settings. The third thing I noticed was just how incredible this bike handled. The Varg has a weight bias more like a modern 4-stroke, where about 53% of the weight is over the rear tire, and this makes the front end feel much lighter than my Alta. I was surprised how effortless the Varg turned, almost like the bike was helping me initiate my turns, and it definitely felt like a front steering bike to me. You truly can point the front of this bike where you want it to go, and it will go there. And once I got used to this feeling, I found that I was turning probably better than I ever have on a dirt bike before.
I feel like a top pro right now. The track's a bit soft, a little sloppy, so I'm definitely taking it easy for sure. But man, the bike definitely has a lot of power, that's for sure. Pretty easy to ride. It's got a lot of power though, so definitely have to manage it with your right wrist. But feels very balanced. The brakes are good, really good. And the suspension feels really nice too. I think we could tune the suspension a little bit for me personally, but yeah, I'm excited to spin some more laps on this thing. Man, so many emotions going through my head right now. But whew, dream come true, really. Why not, right?
It's fun to have it.
It's fun to have it, yeah. It's fun to play around with for sure.
Better to have more than you need.
Right, exactly. But
And it's a big ego thing.
it's a big ego thing.
Yeah,
It's, you know, you want more power.
Yeah, this is a smaller track, so I feel like maybe for like a 60 horsepower or 55 horsepower would probably be better. It's a smaller track, but you know, a faster track like Glen Helen or something back home. Yeah, man, it would be awesome to have all that power on the straightaway. Just, I mean,
That's gonna be crazy.
450s are going to be crying.
Yeah. You can say, hey, you go faster.
You feel smoother.
Yeah,
you're
so
riding
much
smoother.
smoother. And that makes a big difference. It's like you don't have that feeling where, you know, you're like, when you're pushing with a 450 or 250, you know that you're pushing. And this one is like, everything comes together when you push, that you don't feel like you're pushing. And that's a really good feeling.
Yeah, on a gas bike, when you're pushing hard, you feel like you're on the ragged edge of everything. You're about to crash.
Yeah.
And
And this is like smooth
you
things
feel
out.
stable on the bike.
Did you feel the difference? Also, like, yeah, when you're used with the Alta, the fact that, you know, you're always on the right RPM. That's
Yeah, I mean,
That's
when
a
you're
big
riding electric, you don't even think about, you know, being in the right RPM or the right gear. It doesn't even matter. You always have the power you need all the time.
no, that's what it's good.
So it's super safe in that respect.
My second time out on the track, I again opted for a bike with the foot brake option, as this is how I spec'd out my personal Stark Varg, and frankly, I've been riding motocross like this for many years, and I just wanted to stick with what I was comfortable with at this time. I also asked the team to dial back the power on this bike to a maximum of 65 horsepower, and Man, it is just so nice on an electric bike to be able to have a bike capable of upwards of 80 horsepower, but to be able to dial the power down as you see fit and as you need, depending on track conditions or how you're feeling, and not really be stuck with a bike that has this monster 80 horsepower motor, much like you would pretty much get on a gas bike. So with an electric bike, you essentially have many different engine sizes and characteristics in one single bike. And it's all up to you to decide how you want it to perform. So there was a running bet in the Stark Future office whether or not I would like the foot brake option or the left-hand rear brake option better. So my third time out on the track, I tried the left-hand rear brake for the first time. And Matt Roubaud really thought I would like it.
Hey, you will love it. Try to not think too much, and I was surprised.
All right, trying the handbrake this time. There you go. Now, as I mentioned before, much like most of you out there, I've spent most of my motocross life stomping my right foot to actuate a rear brake on a motocross bike. And so it did take about 2 to 3 laps for me to get used to the feeling of having the brake on the left hand. But once I did, let me tell you guys, I absolutely fell in love with this setup. And so much so that I spent the rest of my time riding in Barcelona with a left-hand rear brake. It was truly a game-changing feeling once I got used to it, and there are so many advantages to having the rear brake on your left hand. You can see here on corner entry, I'm just in the attack position and just very comfortably rolling through the corners very smoothly. And where this becomes particularly noticeable is in the right-hand corners. The team said there was such a noticeable difference in my right-handed corners where before I was sort of hesitating on corner entry to make my right-handed corners. But now I was totally just having confidence coming in, sticking my right foot out super early and rolling through the right-handed corners very smoothly, much like I do with my left-handed corners. And this advantage translated all over the track, and my lap times were faster because of it. And, you know, one other thing I thought that I would experience with the left-hand rear brake, because I experienced this with using a clutch on a gas bike, is I thought it would introduce quite a bit of arm pump in my arms since I was now squeezing another lever on the bike. But I actually found that since I was able to remain in the attack position pretty much everywhere around the track, I actually had less arm pump. I like it. I like it. I like it. Another one of the most commonly asked questions I got, and also a key metric that I was curious about leading up to this trip, was what is the battery range like? Well, before I talk about that, I first want to say that in my experience with the Alta, battery range drastically varies depending on factors like rider skill, speed of the track, type of dirt, and how much power you are using. Riding on a hard pack track will use less electrons than in deep sand. Riding on a tighter, slower track will use less electrons than, say, a faster track. Using a lower power map will also use less battery than, say, a higher power map, and so on. And another thing about the Alta real quick, if the bike gets too hot, the software will begin lowering power output, which gives me the perception that there's decreased battery range. Well, I'm so happy to have experienced firsthand that Stark Future had resolved all of those shortcomings of the battery and power plant that I experienced on my Alta Redshift MXR. My first experience with the left-hand rear brake on the Varg was also my longest continuous ride session during the 2 ride days. I stayed out on the track as long as my body allowed at the time, and while I spent the first 5 minutes on the track getting used to the left-hand rear brake, my roughly 80% effort moto lasted just about 30 minutes and then included an additional 15 minutes of play riding with Matt Roubaud afterwards. In that roughly 45 minutes of riding, 2/3 spent motoing and 1/3 spent play riding, I was expecting the team to tell me I had depleted the entire battery when I went back to the pits. but to my surprise, I had only used 60% of the battery during that time. Not only did the bike provide much more range than I was expecting, it also never got hot and never once reduced power on me during that entire session. The bike stayed super consistent in its power delivery. So I think it's safe to say that the improvements Stark Future have made in their battery definitely paid off. Now, one last thing I'll say about battery range, and one thing I'd like to remind everybody, is that the Stark Varg is purpose-built for motocross. If you're the type of rider that spends hours in the sand dunes at Glamis, it's not really realistic to expect this bike to last in that type of riding on a single charge. But for motocross and maybe single track and trail riding, this bike is going to be absolutely incredible for nearly everybody out there. So you wrapped up your moto and you need to recharge the bike. So let's talk about recharging. The Stark Varg comes with an Elcon 3.3 kilowatt charger that's embedded into the stand of the bike. And this is the same charger that's used on my Alta Redshift MXR. So I feel like I can give you guys somewhat of a realistic expectation on recharge times. With this charger and this bike having a slightly larger battery than the MXR, I think it's safe to expect on 240 volts 1 minute per 1% state of charge gained. So in other words, if you go out and use 50% of the battery, you can expect that to take about 50 minutes to recharge, and twice that on 120 volts. Now, typically on a moto day, you'll go out, do your moto, come back, pop it on the charger, and charge it up while you're resting. And another note is I use a generator as a power source at the track. You're going to want to have a generator that supports at least 4,000 watts continuous.
You can hear the back tire locking up. Pretty rad. So the bike has a lot of power. I'm at 85% of 80 horsepower right now, which is, do the math, a little over 65 horsepower. And it's definitely, this bike has a lot of snap and pop right off like low speed, but at the same time the throttle is very manageable. You can modulate the throttle and manage that power, and so it's not really like too much. It's very manageable, but when you need it, you just grab a handful and man, hang on, because you're gonna go for a ride. So fast. Woo! Guys, I am not gonna lie, it is actually kind of nice having the handbrake option. You can you kind of keep your feet on the bike, and you really have a lot of modulation in the rear brake using this left-hand rear brake. So I know there's a lot of guys out there like me who prefer the foot brake, but definitely you guys might want to consider this option as well. It's pretty nice. I'm already getting used to it. You could drag the rear brake in right corners. Very fun. So much fun. Suspension feels good. Woo! Honestly, guys, I'm taking it easy today. I'm in a foreign country on a brand new bike, so I'm really not pushing hard. Just enjoying the time, enjoying the ride, feeling the bike out, and Just loving the experience. It's such a fun ride. You guys are going to absolutely love this bike. It is legit, super fast, handles well, and man, it's nimble. It's super nimble. You can point shoot this thing wherever you want. Wow, the suspension feels so nice. Kayaba SSS stuff is super good. You can drive the rear brake in right hand corner, super good. I don't know if you guys are picking it up on GoPro, but you can really hear that back tire lock up. Just like that. The bike jumps really straight, stable, tracks well. Went a little long there. No big deal though, the suspension was awesome right there. Alright. Super fun, guys. Man, you guys are gonna love this bike. Man. Ergonomically too. The seat goes so far forward, you really could get up on the front of the bike in corners and really push that weight to the front end and have nice traction up the front. Like, gosh, well, so far up that the handlebars are in my lap. It's pretty rad. And then the seat goes so far back too that you just have grip anywhere you need to shift on the bike. You have grip if you're sitting, of course. So it's just very versatile in that sense. You can just track around the outsides, glass berms. Woo! Take reps. Hard on the brakes, dive in the ruts, it just falls right in. So good. This bike has a lot more range than other electric bikes out there. They really resolved some of the issues that prior electric dirt bikes have had, and I can tell you right now, I probably didn't even put a dent in this battery really. This bike at my pace will go at least 45 minutes, no problem, on, you know, me pushing as hard as I can. But guys, the honest thing is, guys like us, man, we're physically spent by that time anyway. So this bike has plenty of range for all you guys out there. I'm honestly blown away at how good it is. I cannot wait to get this back into California to rip some of the tracks back home and really show you guys how awesome this thing is. It's so easy to jump. You can just lay it over. Woo! Accelerates so fast. You can just roll on the throttle and then grab it. Woo! gosh, I really like the handbrake. Man. The pitch control on an electric dirt bike in the air with the throttle, if the nose is coming down, you can just wick the throttle and it will come right back up. And so you have so much pitch control with this bike. So if you go over a jump and you start endoing, you can just wick the throttle and it'll bring it right back up. And I'm starting to lose my voice because I'm having so much fun. So what does the engine braking feel like? Well, right now this bike has a rather low setting, which allows the bike to sort of freewheel, kind of almost like a two-stroke. And so in the air you can hear the whine of the motor as it winds down kind of slowly. So it's not like other electric bikes where the rear tire almost stops in the air, which causes the front end to go down. With this bike, it's very neutral. It jumps so straight and really doesn't require much input at all. So in that respect, it's very safe. But also, it gives you confidence. It gives you confidence just to really push hard, which I'm not doing right now, but okay. That was an awesome session. I'm gonna take a break. And Stark Varg. Man. Can't wait to get this bike back home and show you guys really how it does on SoCal tracks.
So let's take a look at the Stark Varg phone. A quick note about this is the phone is actually independent of the bike, so you don't actually need the phone mounted to the bike for it to operate. Now it's an Android-based phone. You can see here on the back it says Stark Future, which looks quite nice. Has a few cameras here and also a fingerprint reader. And unfortunately I wasn't able to show you guys the app on the phone. The team has asked me to keep that private for now, but just clips back in here very easily and securely, and it's very nice. Overall, I'm very satisfied with all of the components on this bike, and as a paying customer, I like to see how many high quality and high performing parts are on this bike. But there are a couple parts that I'll be changing on my personal Stark Varg once I get it back here in Southern California. And right off the bat, bars and grips, I prefer a straighter, flatter handlebar, and I like to run the Renthal Kevlar grips, so that's what I'll be putting on my bike. And then these Pirelli MX32 tires, I've never run these tires before, so it took a little bit getting used to. I think once I burn through these tires, I'll probably be putting on tires that I'm more used to, like the Bridgestone Battlecross X31s. And there is one component on this bike that I think Stark could have done slightly better, and believe it or not, that's in the triple clamps. Now they're very nice pieces with the split clamps. Typically you only get that on a factory bike or an aftermarket part. So to see them come on the bike is really nice, but these triple clamps only have one bar mount position. So it would have been nice to see a second bar mount position so that you could move the bars forward and open up the cockpit more. But if I had to pick out one thing, that would be it. One of the coolest parts about this trip was getting to shred the Stark Varg alongside Sebastian Tortelli. So I'm going to play for the next 4 minutes or so some raw clips of that experience. Enjoy. Secret from Sebastian Tortelli.
For getting on the bike?
Yeah.
Well, you get quite a bit of time while you're already on it.
Yeah. About an hour and a half.
He's going to be part of my team.
Thank you.
Hey, Lars.
He's doing the jump good.
always crazy.
The last moto of the day, I just remember thinking to myself, how awesome electric is and how just truly lucky I am to be out here in Barcelona shredding this awesome electric dirt bike. And, there's just so many things about electric that, in my opinion, I enjoy better than gas. The power delivery is unmatched. It's really any engine tuner's dream to accomplish a power output like an electric provides. And not having to shift or use a clutch is just a huge advantage out on the track. You can just focus on your lines and really just be in tune with the track and the jumps and, the ruts and all that. And really it's just very easy and safe to go fast on. You don't have to worry about missing a shift or not being in the right gear, not clearing a jump. You're just always confident in the bike. It's going to do exactly what you command, and it really is an unmatched experience. You are truly connected from you to your bike to the track, and it's just the most direct connection you will experience in motocross, and people will be better riders for it.
One word. You're catching me with one word. I want to use so many words to describe this experience. Unbelievable. I am an electric dirt bike owner right now, and frankly, I'm really satisfied with the performance of that bike, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of the fun I've been having on that, frankly. And I wasn't really sure how things could get better until today. I was really blown away by the improvements this team have made to the electric platform, the chassis. This bike handles so well, and I felt confident so quickly on this bike. Now, I'm here in a foreign country on a track I've never ridden at before, and certainly don't want to injure myself, but so I was holding back a little bit, but I did feel the confidence to push harder, and at certain times I did, but it's just unbelievable how this platform could have improved any further than what I'm currently used to, and it truly is next level. Honestly, this is the next level bike. This is the next big thing, and I'm really excited for everybody across the world to be able to experience this as well. It's really, we say, you hear a lot, people say it's game changing, and I'm not sure many people believe it, but I'm here to say that this is truly a game changing bike. Just the versatility of the bike, it can be dialed in for the ultra beginner who has barely ridden a dirt bike before, all the way up to way more power than I can handle. I will tell you that. I had to dial the power back a little bit myself on the 80 horsepower version, and even so, the bike is the power is so manageable, and it's all controlled in your right wrist, where you can have that fine granularity in the throttle down low and creep over little obstacles if you need to, but man, as soon as you whack that throttle, the bike comes alive instantly. You are truly connected from your right wrist to the back tire, and on your gas bike you really don't get that. You really don't have that experience, and I urge every single one of you out there to when you get a chance, try this bike out. If you have doubts about the bike, doubts about electric, man, you're missing out on a whole lot of fun, let me tell you that, because this bike particularly is an immense amount of fun.
The second day on the bike, we again rode at the same track, and Man, I was hoping to be able to ride at Gulf MX. It was kind of a dream of mine, and was really looking forward to being able to test the Varg on a faster track with bigger jumps, as that's what I'm used to riding back home in Southern California. But really can't complain too much. I was having a whole lot of fun anyway, and really just made the best use of the day.
Guys, this bike has a lot of power. It's amazing. Very easy to wheelie. The torque just comes on very instantly.
So I spent most of the second day just testing out different engine settings like max power and engine braking, and also was messing around with suspension settings quite a bit. Really just trying to feel the bike out, seeing how those different changes would affect the handling and characteristics of the bike.
Okay, just had the team turn up the engine braking to 115 as a setting. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, I noticed that.
Better?
I can notice that. Can we try 125? Okay. Yeah, that's feeling quite nice, honestly. Can we go back down to the standard setting?
Yeah.
85. Okay, we're back on the 85 setting, which is the standard setting they have at the moment. The bike freewheels much like a kind of like a two-stroke, which is really nice. It rolls through the corners nicely, but some guys may like more engine braking. So I just wanted to test that out. immediately notice the bike is freewheeling a lot more. It just coasts. Even jumping. Rolls through the corners nicely. You notice you need more braking too. You need more brake input in the rear with less engine braking, which is expected. Yeah, the bike, man, that's one awesome thing about electric though, is you can change the settings and make it feel however you want. It's really amazing. So if you like more engine braking, less engine braking, it's really up to you to dial it in how you want it, which is going to make this bike perfect for anybody. So all up to you, and that's just going to lead to faster lap times. Hey guys, I'm taking it easy right now, so just taking it slow. I'm not really pushing hard. Ooh. Some areas more engine braking is nice. Some areas less is nice. So it's really up to you how you like to feel. You know, also with less engine braking, you're able to like coast more, and it gives your right hand a little bit of a break. Whereas when you have more engine braking, it's almost like sometimes you have to crack the throttle a little bit to keep it rolling through corners. And so sometimes that'll give you a little bit more arm pump than maybe you would otherwise feel. So that's just something for you guys to consider as you're tuning this bike to suit your needs. But you know, everybody will be able to tune it themselves, like I was saying, and really fine tune it for how you like it. Tell you what guys, the bike feels very light and flickable. Nice. So good guys, this bike is absolutely amazing. Whew. My riding today is not so amazing. Woo! And right now I have it set at 80% of 80 horsepower, so it's like 65 horsepower max. And man, the bike is so fast at that setting already. I don't think anybody's gonna really need to use 80. You know, I thought I liked more engine braking, but I actually, you know, Sebastian Tortelli prefers this setting, and I could see why. Because once you get it dialed in, you can really roll through the corners so nicely. It just feels very smooth. The bike isn't lurching back and forth like maybe a gas bike does if you're on and off the throttle. Nice job. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Let me see you do one more lap. Yeah, I want to see you do it.
So while my wife is getting started here, let's hear her take on her first ride experience. Wife?
So I've only ridden a dirt bike once before, which was the Alta, so I was pretty nervous here, but once I got going, I felt really comfortable. It was just a turn track, but I never felt like I was going to crash. I felt really stable, and I had a lot of fun.
So my wife has hopped on the Varg, and we set it in a very mellow power, just like 25 horsepower, and my wife has only ridden a dirt bike on terrain like this, my other electric bike, once. And she instantly has the confidence to ride this bike. Looking really nice. Bike is super forgiving, very customizable. You can set it for even the entry-level beginner. Immediately has the confidence to ride the bike. No stress, no loud noises. You don't have to worry about revving the engine or shifting or using a clutch. Perfect. Nice job. Go a little faster. Whoa! Of course, I'm in the faster power map. Yeah, look at you. This bike is incredible, guys. This is the bike for everybody. Okay, feet down. Very good.
Oh, it's easier on my right side.
Yeah. Give me a high five. Okay, I'm gonna go ride. Alright guys, this is my final ride here in Barcelona on the Stark Varg. Later in the day, it's about almost 4 p.m. Track's a little drier, hard pack now, but I'm back on the foot brake. blown corners. It's interesting, I just hopped back on the foot brake after using the handbrake for a while, and I have to get used to it again. Like, your stance is different on the pegs on the right side, and it's like you have to think about braking again. Alright guys, so you want to know what 80 horsepower looks like on a GoPro? Oh my god! I just overshot the corner! Wow! Holy crap! Oh my god! It is so difficult to keep the front end down with that. Wow! Guys, this is really not even a good judgment because I'm not the best rider. This is way too much power for me. Wow! Holy God! Oh my gosh! Wow! Wow, dude! Oh. Whoa! Holy crap! Oh my god! Look at the line I just made, spinning the tire the entire way. Oh my gosh! This bike is insane! Wow! Holy Christ! I can't even talk. Woo! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, that was so much fun. Woo! Oh man, I love this bike. Yeah! Alright guys, 11 hours later, we're back in LAX. And that's a wrap on this epic trip. I think we want to go back though already, right? Don't we miss Barcelona and Rome?
Like a week.
Give you a week to catch up on sleep. We're pretty wiped out. Still haven't even gotten our bags yet. We hope we can. We had to rush through Dublin. Our flight from Rome to Dublin was a little over an hour delayed, and we had a hour and 45-minute layover originally. We were sprinting through Dublin Airport to get to our Dublin to LAX flight. So hopefully I can get my gear so I can go riding this week. Otherwise, that's going to be a nightmare. But we're back. That's a wrap on this trip, and hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Well, I jinxed myself, guys. Somehow
our one luggage bag right there made it from Dublin to LAX. But my bag with my motocross gear didn't make it. The joys of traveling. Well, I hope I get it by Wednesday because it's my birthday and I want to go riding. Has all my motocross gear in it. All right.